Previously on.
Take me. Left.
Into the back rooms.
Can I go left? Oh, nice! What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another one. We finally finishing this series. My fault, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go check out the Enter the Backroom series on the main channel. Or Crazy. It's really fun. Make sure y'all go watch that and let me know what y'all think of that down there, right there. I make sure I put the clip in this one because every other video I do, I always say I put the clip. I don't put the clip. Make sure I put the clip in this one. And if I don't, y'all let me know in the comment. You forgot the clip. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Simple. We're finally finishing this, and then after this, we're gonna do the iceberg video. And yeah, bro, let's just get into it. The last 3 levels, or yeah. Because I've actually been, exploring the backrooms in the game, and man, the game and the backroom. Even if you know about the level, it's like it's nothing you can do, bro. It's crazy. Anyways, let's go.
Level 9, aka the Suburbs, is classified as Class 5, unsafe, unsecure, and is infested with entities. So pretty much the level is just an infinite suburb where it's always nighttime. The houses here are all different as well in size and shape and what's inside of them, except there's one report where someone claimed that there were 2 houses next to each other that were exactly the same, which is weird. Inside the houses themselves, everything seems to be fully furnished, and it all looks pretty new. The only thing is that there's no power source to power any of the electronics or any stuff like that. There's a multitude of useful objects that can be found inside the houses though, but some of the houses are just empty. All the houses are pretty normal. Some of the houses even have full backyards with backyard stuff like balls and playhouses and grills, stuff like that. But there is one weird aspect of this level that makes it a little bit more eerie. Sometimes you'll run into 2 houses that have clipped inside of each other, which in reality is physically impossible, obviously. But hey, this is the backrooms, and it's not impossible. The most dangerous part of level 9 is actually the streets, because that's where the entities roam. And there are tons of entities here because, well, it's infested, like I said. But there are also some foggy areas where the mangled can spawn. So watch out for that. The main entities here are death moths, smilers, skin stealers, Jerry, hounds, transporters, death rats, anithicas, and wretches. So pretty much they're some of the worst entities. And there are even some level exclusive entities here as well, like the neighborhood watch, the observer, and the mangled. The neighborhood watch entity is literally a species that looks like a giant human eye, and they're extremely aggressive. Nice. The mangled are huge 30 to 50 feet tall creatures that look like they're kind of on stilts. Their bodies look old and they have saggy skin. So, nice. And they're also really dangerous. There are no official bases or outposts here, but there are some groups who roam the infinite suburb and sporadically live in the houses. It is possible to make a base here, but there are so many entities that it's not advised. To enter level 9, the easiest way is by falling through the cave floor on level 8, but you can also crawl up a sewer gate from level 34 and end up here. There's like 30 other ways too, so it's not too hard to get here. To exit the level, you have to follow the street signs, which will take you to level 11 after about 100 miles or so. Or sometimes you can just walk off into a random field and it'll take you to level 9.1 or level 10. There are other exits that are pretty random, it seems. Like you can just walk into a random house and be sent to level 53, or you can find a playground and get into a tube slide and that'll send you to level 283.
Interesting.
Nice. So like I said, pretty random. So to summarize this pretty simple level, it is an infinite dark suburb with houses that are fully furnished and have some supplies, but there are also some houses that are not fully furnished and have no supplies. Some of the houses are glitched together, and there are creatures that roam the streets everywhere. The level is pretty easy to enter and exit, and it's a pretty straightforward level. As long as the doors on the houses could lock, I would literally stay here.
Yeah, you feel me?
Level 10 of the Backrooms is classified as a Class 1 difficulty and is safe, secure, and has minimal entities. Level 10 physically is a infinite wheat field that has a dirt path that cuts directly through it. The wheat itself seems to be safe and normal. You can make bread and stuff with it, you can eat it. And sometimes on the ground near this wheat, there's almond water puddles, which are also safe to drink. Nice. The time of day in this level always seems to be around noon, and it's mostly cloudy, and sometimes it even rains, so cool. Along the sides of the dirt path, there are some random buildings like barns and stables. You can explore these areas if you want to, but normally there isn't really anything there. On the floor of the barns, there's just animal fur and farming equipment like tractors and other tools. But sometimes you'll also hear weird animal noises coming from an unknown source inside of the buildings only, which is weird. Deeper into this level, you'll find some small houses that kind of have the style of a house that was built back in the 80s. These houses are pretty empty, and there's nothing really else to them except they're just houses. Except some wanderers have reported a crying noise from inside the houses. Ghosts, question mark. Walking into these houses can rarely take you back to level 7 or 9, so that kind of sucks. If you walk a little bit further down the dirt path, you'll notice a whole town. This town has the same architecture style as the houses do, so it's assumed that the houses in the town was built at the same time. But unlike the empty houses, these buildings in the town are full of stuff. It doesn't say what the stuff is, but oh well. The town has stores and apartments and other houses, and pretty much just typical town stuff. Now, very rarely on level 10, creatures can spawn inside of the buildings, like the typical Smiler or Skin Stealer or Hound, you know, the big three. And this level is also home to 2 entities that are pretty special. The first entity is called the Archers, and these things live in these towers that are randomly, sporadically put on this level
weaponry
that look like medieval archer towers. I don't know, it's weird.
If you can have guns in the back room, you might as well, you know what I'm saying, pull up. You know what I'm saying? They
by torches, and they've got furniture from the 1600s inside. And this is where it gets kind of wacky. Sometimes on the level, you'll just hear random trumpet sounds from the sky, like insanely loud, or just blast in your ears. And after the trumpets sound for about 2 minutes, the archers come out to scout around the level, I guess. They claim that the towers are their own territory, and they defend them too. And once the trumpet sound blasts again, the archers disappear to an unknown location. It's advised to stay clear of the archers because you don't want to get shot in the face with an arrow. The second special entity here is called the Gluff. These are big fat creatures that wander around the wheat fields. Gluffs are literally only here to help grow the crops because when they sweat, their body sweats out almond water. That's right, folks. Almond water. These creatures are really friendly, and they like to frolic around the fields, and they're considered graceful, actually. They're pretty well known as good friends to have. There are several bases and outposts here as well, like the BNTG Level 10 Resource Station is a base that's here, and they harvest wheat to make breads and other baked goods for the rest of the Backrooms. There's about 23 people who live here. The next group is called the Cartographer Station Tertium.
3K.
The full population of this group is around 3,000 people. They're open to trade, and anyone is welcome, unless you're a member of the BNTG, which then you're not welcome. The next group is called Malt Town, and this is a group of several wanderers who seek refuge in the level 10 town. They're very friendly, and they're guarded by the BNTG. The last group is called the Housekeepers. Now, these are mysterious residents in the houses of level 10 that have apparently, quote, discovered some vital information about the Backrooms inside of the houses, but they're not willing to share it. Losers. To enter this level, you can just walk into the fields of level 9, like I said yesterday, or you can climb a chain-linked fence on level 205. To exit, you can chance going into a random house to be teleported to a random level, or you can knock over a scarecrow in a field to be sent to level 807. So to summarize, this level is an infinite, foggy, cloudy wheat field with a dirt path that runs through it. There are houses and a small town in the level, and there are some friendly groups, and there are big, fat, graceful things that water the fields with their own sweat. Nice.
Strange, yeah.
Level 11 is classified as a Class 1 difficulty and is safe, secure, and has a minimal entity count. The level is pretty much an infinite city with skyscrapers and other city-type buildings. The cool thing about it, though, is that some of the buildings in this level are buildings from real life, but more on that later. Now to what's inside the buildings. This varies between each building. Some of them are empty and some of them are full. The same goes for actually entering the buildings. You can actually go into some, and some you can't go in. The actual contents of the inside of the buildings can be weird though, because some aspects of them don't make any sense. Like some stairways lead to nothing, and there are some doors on the top levels of buildings that just open to the outside, where you can just walk out and fall to your demise. I don't know, it's weird. Also, gravity and normal physics don't seem to matter here for the buildings, because some of the buildings are actually clipped into each other or stacked on top of each other. And in some rare cases, there's even been reports of floating buildings.
I wouldn't get into
What?
this.
Level 11 has no day or night cycle, so it's always afternoon, which means it would be terrible for sleep, just saying. The sidewalks and the streets are pretty normal, except that some of them go through buildings, or some of them just start ramping upwards towards the sun. What? The streets are the most normal part of the level, actually. They're just warm and dry asphalt, unlike level 9, where the streets in that level were constantly wet. There is a surplus of almond water here, and you can get it from water fountains, freezers, vending machines, in pretty much every place you get typical water from. There's this weird thing that happens on this level though sometimes, and it's when a random car will just drive itself down the street, and then it'll just stop in its tracks. And this is only weird because the cars on this level don't work. They don't have the right wiring. So who's driving or how are they driving? I don't know. Thinking we got some Transformers on our hands, lads. The level actually has some big nuclear power plants that have been classified as inactive by Meg, but they're still dangerous due to radiation, obviously. So Meg advises people to not go near them. Now I'll talk about some of those buildings I mentioned earlier that are from real life. Things like specific buildings from New York, Chicago, LA, and St. Louis. Those are from the US, obviously. They don't say which buildings they are, but I'm assuming it's the Empire State Building from New York, the Bean from Chicago, I have no clue what would be from LA, and then the Arch from St. Louis, but I could be wrong. So yeah, those buildings are here, which is really weird because they're even laid out the exact same inside, and all the stuff that's in the real life ones are here too. Weird. There's actually a good Wi-Fi signal here, but the names of each connection are just a jumble of words and letters that don't mean anything. And there's only 2 entities that spawn here often, and those are facelings and hounds. However, you don't have to worry about them because they're not aggressive on this level, due to something called the level 11 effect. This effect makes the creatures act like normal pedestrians or normal dogs. So technically, you could just walk right past a faceling that's walking a hound like a dog? What? And they wouldn't even attack you. Obviously, since this level is almost like real life, there's bound to be several bases here. There's like 15 of them, so buckle up. Meg Base Beta is here, and this is the 4th main Meg Base, and it's still pretty new to the level. Then there's the Eye of Argos, which is the main base for that group. It's in the building that's known as the headquarters, and you can stay there unless you have committed a sin. Okay. Then there's the Camp Amber Outpost. This group mainly helps people who are new to the Backrooms, and it kind of teaches them the ropes. They live around the level, but they don't all live in one spot, and they're friendly, obviously. Next is Insurrection Section 7, which is a group of around 800 people that only brings in people who don't like Meg. Nice. Next is the Drone Surveillance Squad. This was a group made by the first 3.
Is there no way to stay neutral? Like, what if I don't hate nobody? What if I just kind of just want to chill?
Explorers of level 11, and they use their drones to record videos and, you know, stuff like that of the other levels. Next is the Homely Hotel. This group runs a hotel service in this level, just like the one they had up in level 5. If you remember, they have their own food staff and everything like that, so it's pretty much a real-life hotel. Next is Jerry Salvation Group. This is a base made up of the followers of Jerry, and has around 40 people in it, and they're actually pretty friendly unless you insult Jerry. So don't. Now these last 5 groups, I'm just going to speed run through. You got the UBDS, which is the Backrooms Postal Service with 38 people. You have the Anti-Entity Agency, which is a mysterious group created back in 1952, and they go on covert missions to end entities. Cool. Then there's the Radical Radio Team, which is made up of 5 teenagers that dress like they're from the 80s. Losers. And then there's the Malt Mart, which is a group of 28 people who run all the stores and storefronts in a level. They're supplied by the BNTG. And lastly, there's the Citizens of Level 11, which is all 12,000 people who call this place home. Cool. The most common entrance to the level is following the signs from level 9, which will lead you here. And then the most common exit is either walking into a building to be sent to pretty much any level, or you can get into a taxi cab and then be sent to level 43. So yeah, to summarize, level 11 is a city that doesn't obey physics and has over 12,000 inhabitants.
Wow. It's actually impressive.
Level 12 is classified as Class 0 and is safe, secure, and devoid of entities. The level has a really unique and weird effect that when you're in it, it almost like censors itself. So if you try to take a picture or a video of it, all you'll see when you look back at the footage or the picture is TV static. Nice. But the physical description of the level is actually pretty simple. It's a tiny white room with only a table and a chair in the middle. There's a door on the opposite wall, and it's also locked. Many wanderers have gotten here and have exited successfully, but they don't even know how they did it, because they can't remember how they got here or how they left. This is because the level puts a fogginess over everyone's brain, and it doesn't let them think straight. The people who have been here claim that the level actually isn't just a tiny white room. They claim it's a labyrinth of white rooms and doors and tables that go on forever and ever. Nice. But there is a theorized exit that's found in a log from a Meg team that explored the level. And it goes like this. You must be sitting on the original main room chair, and you must have remained there for an average of 15 minutes. Get up, walk to the door, and try to open it. Should be locked. If it opens, lucky you, I guess. Go and boast about it to everyone in Alpha Base. Make sure you do this though, even if you know it's locked. Then return to the center of the room and find one of the nooks that leads into this wide open area. You need to find one of the copycat doors out there. Shouldn't be too hard. Open and enter said door. As per usual, you'll end up back in the main room. Wait for exactly 1 hour, no more, no less, and try to open the door again. If it doesn't open, repeat these steps. Try to turn the handle as close to the 1 hour mark as possible. If the door does open, it should lead to one of the early levels. We don't have a precise list just yet, but I suspect you can refer to the database page for this level if you're after an exact pool of possible destinations. It's kinda hard to communicate properly with people in level 12 once you're out of it. As soon as the effects wear off, you realize just how bad the mental fogginess is. Okay, it's been an additional hour and the strategy worked. Gabs managed to create a pathway to level 1. A lot of the team seem pretty out of it. Let's hope they get better when they leave. This is Commander Harris, Team Leader, Provisional Team Matrix, signing off. So yeah, you pretty much have to do some convoluted opening, closing door thing to leave. And there's only one theorized way to enter the level, and it's through a random window in level 11 that can be used to no-clip to get here. And like I said, I just read the exit to you. It works most of the time, and it leads you to either level -1, 4, 10, 19, 23, 25, or 34. Nice. So yeah, that's the entirety of level 12. There's not much to it, but I hope you enjoyed it. It's a pretty simple level, but it's also weird at the same time. So yeah, that was it for the huge compilation of level explanations of the first 12 levels. I'm eventually going to do the first 50, 100, 500. I'm going to do them all eventually and compile them into one massive video, but that'll be later down on the road, and this is just the first taste of that. Thank you so much.
Wow, that is ridiculous. I just really don't understand. Like, this is so different from Sublimal. And I know you guys still want me to do Sublimal Backrooms. Let me know what Backrooms videos to do. I ain't gonna lie. In this comment section right here, let me know what Backrooms videos I do besides the iceberg. I already know you guys want me to do the iceberg one. Let me know which specific iceberg video. But let me know down below in the comments. And yeah, this was interesting. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one. Hopefully we're back again with... we'll probably be back again with some found footage videos or something like that. But let me know what you guys want down below in the comments. And in the community tab, I put what you guys want and all that. And I'll see you guys in the next one, bro. Peace out, and yeah, this was fun. It's a fun little series.